Life is simple, there no life.
Just waiting for it to come up.
I think which says we're live here.
Yep, and it's live, mate. So welcome to Real United Talk, discussing this fine weekend's transfer and news headlines. Joined tonight by Diedrich, mate. Riggers, how are we doing?
I'm good, you?
Yeah, not bad, mate, not bad. How much money you got in your wallet?
Let me tell you, do you? Do you have any money?
Definitely got something to put in you, mate. Definitely tonight. Harty is here. Evening, Harty. Not seen you for a while, Marky. Mark, I did send you a message, mate. I did reply to you. So let's get straight into it then. Top topics this week. We got David Brooks at Bournemouth. We've got Henderson potentially signing a new contract. Don't think he's actually signed it yet, but he's been spotted at Carrington training. And we got obviously the big news of our captain being in jail for 48 hours. So let's get straight into jail. But before we do, Hart says another KFC dinner then, Diedrich.
Mighty bucket for one.
Are you guys going to the gay bar? Says Barky. We're going to highlight that one. He knows what it's all about, doesn't he?
We can't because he's not here.
Harry Maguire, Diedrich. Altercation outside a club or pub, whatever you want to call it, at Greece. Him, two other Englishmen, I believe, being reported being involved in it, and a few policemen. Put in jail then for 2 nights. Went to court this morning. Court was adjourned until Tuesday. No press allowed in there. Manchester United issue a statement saying that they've been in contact with Maguire, and that is basically all they've said. Now, as I said, Man United captain, mate, what are the repercussions for this, if any, do you think, for next season?
I don't see there being too many repercussions. We've had players do fucking a hell of a lot worse than this.
Yeah.
Rumour has it, some rival fans seen him, started saying things, which has led on to a bit of an altercation. And apparently, his sister's been stabbed in the arm.
Okay.
And it's basically he's tried to diffuse it from there, and that's all I've read or know. But like I said, I can't see there being many. I don't. People saying strip him of the captaincy, obviously, weren't around in the days of fucking Cantona and things like that. You know what I mean? We've had once you've had a player run into the crowd and boot somebody in head, nothing will ever be as bad as that. Will it? Let's be honest.
No, I'm expecting a lot of the politically correct people to come out and say he should be stripped of the captaincy. But obviously, from what you just said there, obviously there's a lot of our fan base that don't remember the days of Eric Cantona and the Kung Fu Kick. And when he came back umpteen months later, he was captain of Manchester United. But of course, the days of social media weren't around then. All people had to rely on back in them days was the teletext and the news. So how do you think? I mean, do you think social media is going to have a big influence in this? Do you think there's going to be a bit of pressure here from fans?
It will do, but I don't think it'll affect him too much. I don't think he's going to buckle under the pressure of it. I mean, he's already the world's most expensive defender, so obviously that's going to put him in the spotlight even more so than usual. But I can't see it affecting him that much. I think his main priority at the moment will be clearing his name, and fortunately, we live in a society where you're innocent until proven guilty. So, whatever repercussions are, it'll either. I don't see him, even if he does get found guilty, I can't see him serving jail time or something like that. A high-profile person as Maguire, it'll probably be, let's put a couple of million into account somewhere and let's make this all go away.
Yeah, make it go quiet. Yeah. I don't expect anything to come to it, to be honest. I'm not a lover of the politically correct brigade and, the fucking snowflakes of this world, where you can't say boo ghost now without it being something. I think it's just, if it was during the week where it was the night before a game or something like that and it happened in England, then, I could understand it being a bit problem. But I mean, the guy's on holiday, for fuck's sake. You know, just
a lot of the time we forget these are human beings. They're like me and you. They literally, the only difference is they get paid millions upon millions of pounds to kick a ball full of air on the football pitch. That's the only difference. Apart from that, they're still the same as us. You know, they're still humans. They're gonna mess up and they're gonna do bad things. It's just a lot of them aren't obviously going to happen in the eyes of where a camera's going to be. But that's just today's society, isn't it? You can't even take a shit without someone reporting it.
No, exactly. I mean, Harty's just, you know, I said the same thing as me. The guy's on vacation. Let him enjoy his beer, for fuck's sake. I mean, you know,
definitely.
It's a shame that it's happened. Of course it is. But no, I mean, there's no problem from me. I wouldn't strip him of the captaincy for it. I like the captaincy changed hands eventually, because I don't think Maguire is a captain, but I think this to me is just, it's fucking crap, you know. But it's the pressure that's going to come from the social media aspect, because again, you look on Twitter and Glazer's out is trending and Woodward's out trending again, and you know, people are not getting their dream signings and they get the panic button, don't they? So that's it. Hart says he's very hearty. Jay Hart, if we're interested in Grealish, we have to prepare for those sort of things. And my daughter says hi. Hi, Katie. Hart's on about Grealish then. Let's have a quick chat about him, because this ties nicely with the Henderson story. So Dean Henderson has been spotted at Carrington, back on the training ground. Rumours are that he's going to be challenging or taking Romero's place in the squad. And Romero, United are trying to put a deal with Romero to go to Aston Villa, because they've lost Pepe Reina now. Back, is it Napoli or Lazio he came from on loan?
I think it's Napoli.
Napoli.
That could be wrong.
So yeah, so United have got a bit of an upper hand there, because Aston Villa are in need of a goalkeeper. You know, it could lower the price on Grealish. What do you think about that? I mean, overall, Deidre, I've got to say I'm quite happy about it, because I want Henderson to come into the side.
Yeah, there's a lot of positive say from that if it's true. Like I said, the big thing being there is if, and if we can get that Grealish fee down by doing it as well, it's an all what's the word? Sorry, my partner's just messaged me. It's it's best for all parties involved. We arguably upgrade our goalkeeping situation, where Henderson's now taking Romero's spot. Villa get a goalkeeper, because obviously their keeper's gone back to Napoli now. And we also get the Grealish fee down, and oh bloody hell! And we also get Grealish. So yeah, if it happens, and we can say, for example, if we can knock 15-20 million off the Grealish fee and get Grealish in, then all day long, take it.
Definitely. I mean, how much do you reckon? I mean, if that's the deal going forward, Dietrich, how much do you think Romero's worth here? I don't think an awful lot, and I think it's going to be minimal.
I don't think it's worth a lot, but I think United will be playing he's only our second choice keeper because De Gea is world class. Otherwise, if not for De Gea, Romero will be starting. That's the argument they'll be using, isn't it? They're going to be making out like, apart from De Gea, he's the second best in the world, aren't they? They're not going to go, it's a bit shit, but you want him.
That's nice. I'm thinking maybe they might chuck in another player, and get it down to about 45-50 million. I'm thinking possibly the one that would go could be Pereira to Aston Villa.
You see, if you're thinking of the one that makes sense, I'd say maybe Jones. Or maybe said to him, we'll loan you Twanzebe again for another year.
Do you know what, Twanzebe? I totally forgot about him being at Aston Villa, actually. Good shout, that. Let's see. Phil Jones, mate, is anyone stupid enough to take him? Seriously? I mean, you look at the record he's got, I don't think anyone would want to take him and pay them wages for fuck all, would it? I don't know. It's interesting where they go with that. Mark says Delot to go at Villa. Delot,
He's too good for Villa.
Yeah,
he's gonna go. He's gonna go to. Apparently, he's been linked with PSG.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Hart says Henderson should at least start the cup games. Totally agree with you, Harty, mate. He's got to be. They think so much of him, and they're trying to get him tied down to this new contract. So they've got to make some promises or some assurances to him somewhere in it. Mark says people keep saying that there's no way Maguire would do this, but he doesn't drink often, and when people like that get shit-faced, anything can happen. Like, you might just be pretty light on the beer, isn't he? A bit of a lightweight. Now, let's talk about one of your players you know about, Diedrich. David Brooks. So, I've got some stats and stuff here. So, the guy is 23 years of age. Current team is Bournemouth. He started his youth career at Manchester City, then he went to Sheffield United. In 2017, he played 5 games for the England under-20s. He scored 2 goals. 2017, 2018, he was Wales under-21s, 3 appearances, 1 goal. And then the Wales senior team in 2017, he's done 12 appearances, 1 goal, as it stands at the minute. His career statistics for Bournemouth this season are 9 appearances, 1 goal. No FA Cup, no EFL Cup, nothing. Just 9 appearances in the Premier League.
I think he was injured for the majority of the season. I think he only started making appearances after Project Restart.
Okay. So what do you know about him? He's a midfielder.
His previous season, he did well. I think he got 7 goals in like 30 games. I like him. I think he offers a lot, and this is where my argument stood before. I don't see Brooks as an alternative to Sancho. I see him as an alternative to Grealish. I think he's, I think like we said last night, he's got a dirty left foot on him. He's quite quick as well. Likes a goal. Also very creative. Primarily plays as a 10, but can also play on the wing. And yes, I don't think he's good enough to break into our first 11. I don't think he's good enough to take Greenwood's spot or take Rashford's spot, but I think he's better than Pereira, Lingard. I think he's better than anything on our bench. Yeah. Maybe Mata, but that's only because if Mata were 10 years younger, Mata would probably be one of my best players, but he's like 30 odd now, and he's, like I said before, he's like a fucking German Shepherd. His back legs are going. It's time to be taken out to the shed. But yeah, I'd take him. But the other thing putting me off is the whole 40 million thing. But you've got to think Bournemouth, they're going to try and get as much as they possibly can. And whenever we say to them, they'll say, well, we just like one of our best defenders. Okay, go for 40 million. This lad's arguably worth more.
How much would you be willing to pay? Or what sort of deal would you structure to get him? I mean, obviously, you think a lot of him.
I do. Also, I'm not blind. I think I'd say if we could grab him for 30, 40 at the maximum, I wouldn't go above that, because I say 40 million is the new 20 million. If you remember back in the day, in the noughties and stuff like that, 30 million was like the thing that everyone would go to. That's what Berbatov came for. Rio, Rooney were like 25. So up until that point, no one ever tended to go above that until Real Madrid just came in and just bought Ronaldo for 80 million. So I'd say 40 million is the new 20 million. So if we could go in, I mean, I'm contradicting myself. If push came to shove and we could not get, and there was definitely no way to get Grealish in, and I'd take him, yeah. I'd take 40 million. But I'm obviously going to say I'd rather have him for a bit less, because it means money can go elsewhere. But if it's a case of 30 million and 10 million goes into the Glazers' pocket, I'd rather it fucking be 40 million straight to Bournemouth.
Yeah. Good points, man. I mean, I don't think any. Well, there's not an awful lot of United fans that are quite happy pumping money into the Glazers' pockets anyway, considering what's going on. There's 2 other players I want to talk about. This Gabriel. He's getting late interest from Manchester United. Arsenal apparently are favourite sign him. They put a package together of around 24, 25 million for United, according to the paper, got in with 27 million cash for him. Brazilian defender. He's first in Liga 1 for passes into the opposition half. He's second for forward passes, 6th for block shots, 13th for passes completed. This is the one that worries me. He's 16th out of Liga 1 for aerial duels won. Right? That is a problem for me. Manchester United conceded a lot of goals this season from set pieces, as we know, and basically, players click on and running in behind us. Would this guy, I mean, do you know anything about him? Would he be the one to come in and partner with?
I'm not going to profess to say that I know. I don't think I've not even watched him properly. So it'd be kind of critical of me to make a judgment on him. It does sound good, and we obviously need depth at centre back, because a lot of people will say we don't need depth. Our centre backs is stacked, but when you look at it in the cold light of day, you look at Tuanzebe, injury prone, Rojo, injury prone, Bay, injury prone. So a lot of the time, it's all right saying we've got loads of bodies at centre back. There's no point if they're actual bodies, corpses. You actually need players there. So I'd take him. From what I've read, it sounds decent. The aerial duel thing, do you know what I mean? We've played Lindelof all season. I don't think Lindelof's that great in the air. So
no.
I mean, personally, I don't understand the whole idea of a left-footed centre-back and a right-footed centre-back. I don't ever remember that growing up. The first person I've seen do that was Van Gaal. I think he played Blind, and who else did he play?
Rojo, wasn't it, as well, in there?
Yeah. He used to like playing left-footed. So I've never understood the point in it. Vidic and Rio, they were both right-footed, as far as I'm aware. So,
okay.
Well, if that's all he wants, then we have to deliver.
Well, as an alternative, right, so you've got this Gabriel lad, 27 million. Apparently, he seems destined for the Premier League, whether it's London or Manchester. Before lockdown, according to the papers, he undertook a medical with Everton. So Everton were interested. Rumours that Paris Saint-Germain could come in and make a late bid as well. But as an alternative to that, Thiago Silva, free transfer. All right, he's getting on. No,
he's 35.
Chelsea been linked with him. I'm just thinking, it comes across as sort of a Ed Woodward glazed move, big name, free. It could sell shirts potentially. You never know.
I wouldn't be happy with that. I've got to be honest. If it were like 10 years ago, then yeah, but no, not now. Not when the guy's 35. You don't want to be trying to adapt to the Premier League at 35 years of age. It's just no. That'd be horrible to watch. It'd be like, when you see a car crash and you literally just can't help but watch. That's what it would be like. It'd be like watching someone try and play football, trying to play football with fucking hockey shoes.
Could you imagine the amount of banter and abuse United fans would get on social media if our big signing this summer is Thiago Silva?
Fucking free transfer.
Yeah, it would be absolutely.
It's not beyond the realms of possibility, though. But I tell you what, I mean, Chelsea are going about the business, aren't they? If they're getting Chilwell as well as Thiago Silva, fair enough. I'm saying I wouldn't want Thiago Silva, but you've got to think that's another body. And they're also going to be after a centre-back, goalkeeper. That's going to be 5 signings.
Yeah.
We haven't even done one yet. We don't even look close to agreeing a fee with anyone yet.
It seems to have gone very, very quiet on the Manchester United transfer news front. Worryingly quiet for me, considering what they've achieved this season. I always remember what Ed said. United can do things in the transfer business that no other club can. If any time those words ring true, it would be this transfer window because of the Champions League. And technically, I know some people say, well, we're not in the Champions League because we've got to qualify it. And I get that. But I think the potential of Champions League, luring these top players. Where is it? You know, I'm not seeing nothing in the paper, mate, being linked with any big players whatsoever.
I think what Wood would like to do is he likes to play the long game. He likes to see how desperate people get. But a lot of the times he's done that, like the Maguire deal. I think he was expecting Leicester at the last minute to go, oh, just give us something. And they obviously didn't. They were like, no, 80 million for that. You're not having him. We literally left it till the last day of the season. So,
and this all goes to players don't need to get rid of clubs. Don't need to get rid of their players anymore, mate. It's, you know, it's the money that's in the business now. You know, no one is for so much money for staying in the Premier League. And to be honest, you know, you look. I mean, small clubs will say it costs a fortune to get relegated from the Prem, but to clubs like United and stuff, it's small change. So therefore, the numbers and the value just it adds up. It makes sense for them. Mark Jones is prone to being fit every now and then. Pancar's got a few comments in here. He says Thiago Silva is still very experienced. What would you say to that, Diedrich? Do you think experience would be enough to bring him in?
So's the fucking old man who lives down the road, but I won't want him playing for United.
Pankaj also says Zlatan scored 17 goals in the Prem, same as Martial, now at 35, just one goal less, so age doesn't matter. Age is just a number, he says.
It doesn't sense about. It doesn't sense about when you can have people like Sterling and shit running at you every.
Rodney, on the last show, Rodney, Jessica and Kylie, they were talking. Rodney, you know, near enough the same sort of opinion as me. We need a number 9, mate. If you look over the course of the season, goals that have been scored, the goals that have been missed, do you still think, because I know you wanted the right wing, didn't you? I think it was, we spoke about it before. So did Rodney make any points to change your mind about having a number 9, the main priority?
No, because I think with the way United our wingers are at the moment, I think if there ever was an injury to Martial, one of them could step in and do you know what I mean, swap and change. I think Martial deserves another season to have a crack at it and then maybe start putting a bit of pressure on him. I mean, gone are the days when you'd have 4 strikers like the 1999 season, because we used to play 4-4-2. At the minute, when you play only one up top and you play one at either side, you kind of only need 1 or 2 strikers because it's very rare you take a striker in and out. It's not like the old days. So I wouldn't be. I'd say there's other areas that need strengthening before that position yet. And plus, just not to cut you off, I see Greenwood as our future number 9 anyway. I think eventually he's gonna be gunning for Martial's spot anyway. So.
Yeah. Pankar says a number 9 scores at least 1 goal every game. Mark says Marcus, have you moved house or just changed everything? I changed it all around again, mate. I changed it all around again. Pankar says a top strike I speak about. Now, I've got to say, I'm going to go against you, mate. I really think a top striker is the priority, because I'm just going to use the Sevilla game as an example. Martial had 3 one-on-one chances. Didn't put any of them away. Twice, on 2 occasions in those one-on-one chances, he took that extra touch that didn't need to be taken. And that a natural predator striker, in my eyes, just turns and fucking laces it, mate. And, you know, it either gets saved, it either goes in, it goes out for a corner, worst case scenario. So for me, I don't see, you're talking about one striker being in the middle and having one as backup. I don't see Ighalo, mate, doing that from now until January. I can't, if he didn't bring him on, right, in that Europa League semi-final until, what was it, 92nd minute, he had 4-5 minutes. Mate, I think he's going to run them lads into the ground, Martial, Rashford, Greenwood, right up until January. And I think even then in January, it's going to be slim pickings to get a fucking out-and-out striker. Now, I'm going to bring in Dybala here, because Dybala's been mentioned as well. I'd still take him now. I really would. I would have took him 2-3 seasons ago. He was mentioned, I think, between us and Spurs.
I think last season.
Last season,
beginning of the season, yeah.
Yeah. So I would have, and then I'd still take him now. I think that lad may not be an out-and-out scorer, but the chances, he's dangerous, mate. He creates a lot of chances.
I'd have the ball all day long, but I don't see him as a striker. I see him as a number 10.
Yeah?
I see him as a number 10.
Okay, right. That's interesting then, because that would throw the Grealish thing out. Because a
lot of people. If you're asking me, I'd rather have Grealish or Dybala, all day long. It's not even competition. They're not even in the same ballpark.
Yeah, I really hope. I mean, that would be one of my left field signs, Dybala. It's pretty obvious he's not wanted where he is. His wife or whatever.
Strangely, and I think he got in like the Italian team of the season. I think he got an award as well, like MVP of the Italian league. And then the day after, I mean, Juventus haven't even got the same manager anymore, and they've put him up for sale again. So it makes you wonder. It's not the managers that are saying they don't want him. I think it's something at board level for some strange reason.
Well, I mean, his wife apparently, no disrespect, Rod, apparently his wife's got a bit of a mouth on her. Likes to speak up.
Like him who plays for PSG, he used to play for Inter. Can't think of his fucking name now.
Either way,
Argentinian striker.
She's got a fucking mouth on her. She likes to stick up, for him and stuff like that. Let's have a look. Panko says, I agree, Marcus and Rashford gets more criticism than Martial, even though Rashford's never considered as number 9. I think he gets more criticism, Pankaj, because he's English. I think that's just the English press going in on him because he's an England international. Mark says, Diedrich, do you have any money, mate?
I want to spend all your money. Gamer.
Pankos says Dybala is more of an attacking midfield, rather a winger. So that ties into what you said then, Diedrich, number 10. That's just good as well. Mark, did you hear that we made a 27 million bid for Douglas Costa? Would take him at United. Right, let's talk about this. Douglas Costa, 28 years old, isn't he? Where is it? I forget where he's playing. Juventus, is it?
Juventus and Bayern, I think.
Yeah. What do you think? Again, we were linked to him round about the time we was linked with that left back, Sandro.
Yeah, so Alexandro. I wouldn't take him. I definitely wouldn't take him. I think there's better options out there. Yeah. Fair enough, he might be a good player, but if Bayern Munich have wanted Vidia and then Juventus have wanted Vidia, there's something not quite right there. Fair enough, I get that not every player is going to get into Bayern Munich's team, not every player is going to get into the Juventus team, but if two of your managers are putting you up for sale, it's not like we're banging on the door going, give us him. They're like kind of like offering him. And that's what happened at Bayern Munich. I'm sure they offered him to Juventus. Then clubs don't tend to come out and offer players. It tends to be you approaching the clubs. So something's not quite right there, if you ask me.
So, I mean, do you know a lot about him, do you? Oh, well, no. Have you seen him play? Because you watch football outside Premier League, don't you? I mean,
I do.
What's the attraction? Obviously, he fits a mold.
It's just a typical winger. He's a bog standard winger. He likes to run at players. Likes to lose the ball more often than not. Likes to take risks, but unfortunately, a lot of the times it's his decision making that lets him down, and for that, and I think we've already got too many people like that. I mean, there's not many wingers about nowadays that are more interested in assisting rather than fucking cutting inside trying to do stupid stuff anymore. I'd say the closest you're going to get to a player like that these days is going to be Perisic, but we kind of missed the boat with him, and I'm kind of glad we did because otherwise Martial will be playing for Inter now. It is a difficult one.
Well, Akil says Dybala was good this season for Juve. It's the wage bill. Juve wouldn't even mind moving Ronaldo off because of the financial trouble they're in.
I find that hard to believe because apparently they've offered him to fucking Barcelona or something. I don't see that for him.
Yeah.
No, definitely
not. Pankar says plus Sarri didn't want Dybala either. when Dybala played last summer. Akil says Douglas Costa is injury prone and is too inconsistent when he plays. Why would we take a Juve and Bayern reject who will be 30 when season starts? That's interesting. I thought he was 28 for some reason.
I think he's quite older. Dybala, I definitely have Dybala, but I think I think the thing that let us down with him last season was we couldn't agree a wage with him, or it was something to image rights or something. But apparently that was going to be part of the Lukaku deal. Apparently Juve wants Smalling offers, so I mean, obviously we're not. That's not going to be a straight swap like it would have been for Lukaku and Dybala. But I mean, if you could say to them, we'll give you Smalling and fucking say 40 million, 50 million for Dybala, I'd say that all day long.
Right, here's a question from Mark here for you, Diedrich. How can teams like Chelsea be looking to spend over 200 million this window if financial fair play means you can only spend what you earn and COVID has caused massive losses? Then how can they be allowed to spend that much?
Because it's over a period of time. Financial fair play. It isn't basically what you earn off revenue the season before. It's what your projected incomes are going to be against what you've previously made in the last couple of years. And you've also got to think they've had pretty much a war chest saved up around the transfer ban. So they'll see it as in, well, we didn't spend for 2 years, so therefore if we were allocated 200 million last season, 200 million the season before, we haven't spent any of that, so here's our fucking war chest we can now spend. So they'll say we can spend this much because the last 2 seasons we've spent nothing.
I think, and in this transfer window, if United play their cards right, I think they're in quite a strong position here because our fringe players, and I'm going to say players that are not much cop in my eyes, that are taking up squad space, the likes of Smalling, Lingard, Mata, possibly Dalot, Perez. These players are wanted by Italian clubs. I think if United play their cards right and Woodward does a good fucking deal here, I reckon there is a chance that Dybala can come out. And I think Douglas Costa, because it's like Pankar says here, swap Smalling Jones for Dybala and Douglas Costa, right? I mean, that ain't going to happen.
Yeah, the Jones, you instantly just killed it with the Jones thing.
But, Pereira's wanted, Delot's wanted, Smalling's wanted. I think there's, if he plays his cards right, mate, and use a bit of his fucking noggin up here, he might be able to get something done out there. Plus, as well, I mean, Pankar says here, look, you got Lingard as well. These are players that certainly you could get rid of. And Dybala and Costa would be an improvement upon them players. What do you think?
Definitely a bit. Dybala's definitely an improvement. Douglas Costa, I'm not too sure.
Well, I mean, you look at Douglas Costa as a winger, right? And you look at the wingers that are on the bench, or the players that play out wide. Mata, Lingard, Pereira. In my eye, I think Costa would be an upgrade on them 3.
Probably, but only just.
Yeah.
Like
you don't rate him then, Diedrich? You really don't?
I really don't. Obviously, I'm Dybala. I've always liked him. I think we should have signed him back in his Palermo days. But of course, I really don't rate him. Even when the game I have caught him in the past, it's been like, Jesus Christ.
Well, before we wrap up the show, because we've gone on for half hour, I've got to ask you, right? Sancho still ain't here. Do you still believe in this transfer deal? Because you're looking a bit disheartened now, mate. I'll speak to you every day.
I think there's still a long way to go. Like I said a few weeks ago, if it was all going a bit too straightforward. I literally said that. I think I said that to Marcus, not Mark, Ross. Sorry, I think I said it's all going a bit too quick and it was going too smooth to be a Man United deal. So it wouldn't be a Man United deal if it didn't drag on for 3 months. But I think that's what's going to happen. By the time if we do get him across the line, I think a lot of us will be like, oh shit, yeah, that happened. Oh, anyway, none of us would be bothered by it. It's just like the Wan-Bissaka deal and the Maguire deal. They take that long to do. Even Pogba, in a sense. I remember, I think it got announced the night before or the night of the Charity Shield after the match, like at midnight, and it's because it dragged on that much over the summer. I was like, oh, yeah,
right.
yeah, the excitement's gone.
Why do you think that happens?
I don't know. I don't know whether it's us penny pinching. I don't know whether it's us doing it just to get a name more in the papers. Because like I said to you, one of my favourite memories about growing up being at like football was, like I said, the Anderson and the Nanny story. I remember going and playing football with my mates. I used to watch, obviously, different leagues. And I used to like Nanny and he used to like Anderson. I saw him playing for Porto a few times in the Champions League, thinking he's quite a nifty little player. I remember saying to one of my friends, you know what, I'd really like for United to sign them. And he's like, what? You've literally signed him like 2 days ago. I'm like, no, we haven't. He's like, yeah, I've checked your phone. So I pulled it up and we had done. And that was like, Jesus, that was so exciting. Because obviously it came out of nowhere for me anyway. But there was none of this, oh, Man United might be getting Anderson. 3 months later, we might be getting Anderson. It just... We're almost in a period now where, if you remember, there used to be a general rule, wasn't there? If you ever go public and it gets to public knowledge that you're after a play, you have to then get him, because otherwise it looks bad. And that was always the general case. Ever since Fabregas and Moyes, we've almost got to the point where we go public, we let everyone know that we're after a player, but then we don't get him. And then when we asked about it, we go, it's because they wanted too much money. So then we go, well, fair play for not signing him. And then, what the fuck is that about? It doesn't matter. If you go public and you make everyone know that you're after this player, you have to then get that player. No one's going to go, well, we didn't get him. End of season when we've missed out on top 4 or a trophy, we're not going to go, you know what, we could have actually won the league if we'd have signed such and such somebody. But, you know what, you saved us that 50 million, Ed. Go you. No one's going to do that.
Well done. Well done, mate, for saving that money.
Well done, you cunt.
Mark says Sancho will be signed on the 7th. Which 7th, though, Mark? Which 7th? This is it. Akil says, I think towards the end of the window, there'll be some bargain deals if we are smart enough. Many teams will be forced to move players. Red Devil says, evening. Oh, you're ready, right? Akil said, I think we'll sign Sancho. United care too much about PR nowadays, especially after the Maguire incident. Club will want to do something to regain the image. I think they've got a backup plan for that, and I think that's a Pogba contract. I don't think that will have anything to do with Phil. I think
get that put up back of him in new Man United top Pogba new contract underneath it.
Yeah, I think with what's going on, if they're going to push for Sancho and it don't pull off, they'll pull out the Pogba contract and it'll make everything go away. It'll make everyone forget about what's happened, and then they'll bring in some lesser names and say, right, we got bodies in. Because I said to you the other night, didn't I, about Solskjaer said, it's about squad.
Quantity or quality.
Yeah, he doesn't say anything about the 1 or 2. He says squad depth. And mate, that just rang alarm bells in my head. Let's have a look. Pancard says, "What do you think, Maguire?" And we spoke about that at the start, Pancard. If you would have seen it.
Red Devil says, Pancard, you need to start doing some super chats. Can we just give it a minute so I can revel in some glory, please, Marco?
Can do, mate, yeah.
What did I say happened in the Europa League final? What did I say? What was it? Whoever wins, like Man United and Seville, will go on to win the trophy. No one believed me.
I agree.
Look at yous. Look at yous.
I did agree. I did say I think the winners would come from this, but I wanted Inter to win it if we went out. But I remember I did say to you, it's a tough tie, this one.
Lukaku with the own goal, ba-boom.
That was quality.
But we miss Lukaku apparently.
No, we don't. Mark says, Deeper, you going live on your channel after this?
Yes, possibly 8 o'clock. Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima. And what's your channel, Deep?
I don't know.
Right, okay. Mark, if you know what the channel is, can you put it in the chat for us, please?
What's Mark streaming tonight?
I don't know what Mark's doing tonight. See, I think Mark said he was going to have a night off.
Yeah, all right.
Red Devil says Douglas Costa with a sick emoji next to him. Oh, right, he's like you then, Diedrich. Don't want him. Let's have a look. Akil says Pogba should do a Rooney and say he will not sign an extension if the club is not ambitious in the transfer market. I think that would cause too many problems.
Do you know what? If he actually generally came out, I mean, I've always said the shit that Pogba gets up to infuriates me. There's far too much antics, far too much looking away. He's not asked about us. I generally think that. But if he came out and said that, and he left because of that, and he actually came out and said that, that would be one of the rare incidences. I'd be like, you know what, fair play. Because you've literally you've just shone a big spotlight on our audience and said, look, this is why, the fucking dancing and all that other annoying shit he does, that infuriates me. But if he, like I said, if he actually came out and said, look, I'm prepared to go because they're not prepared, they're not backing all eight, and they're not prepared, they're not bothered about us challenging, I'd be like, you know what, fair play to you, because you're obviously going, which shows you're serious, and it also, like I said, it shines a light on our owners to say, look, they're not bothered.
I thoroughly agree when Mourinho did it. When we was out I think it was out doing the American pre-season thing, he said he'd be happy with 3. Next interview, he said 2. Next interview, he said 1. You know, yeah. I thought, this is fucking subtle digs here at the people above. You're just not actually saying it. You just, you are.
Yeah, passive aggressive.
And I applauded him for it. I thought it was absolutely great. I thought finally we got someone in charge here who's willing to speak the truth and to stand up for himself and say, well, look, what can I fucking do with what I've got here? We ain't going to win nothing. And I think, when he said second with that team was his biggest achievement, I thoroughly believe, because that team at the time was fucking horrendous, mate. Absolutely horrendous.
They started off so well as well, that team. It was really weird. I thought it beat West Ham 4-0 first game of the season, and then beat Swansea away 4-0. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it just went to shit. Yeah. We went to play. I think we had a 0-0 at Anfield, and then it just went like that, boom, straight down afterwards. Like I was saying earlier on, I think I think last night we were saying, once upon a time I actually really liked Lukaku. I remember thinking, fucking hell, so this is what a fucking quick strike is all about. And then all of a sudden they just come back looking like fucking Mark Henry. Just wanting to fucking rugby tackle everyone.
Mark Henry, yeah.
Mark Henry and Lenny Henry.
Pankar said, if we get Sancho, Douglas Costa and Koulibaly, would you be shocked? We ain't getting Koulibaly. Not a chance.
Why would you get 2 right wingers?
Yeah, I don't. Mate, I honestly believe it. I don't think we're going to get Sancho. I really don't. I know it's all hyped about and everything, but the numbers just don't add up for me. And Mark, let's put your YouTube channel in here. So there's
cheers, Mark.
Diedrich's YouTube channel, in case anyone wants to come over and watch Ghost of Tsushima, which is on the PS4.
Mark, show us the magic.
Right, let's wrap it up then, because you've got 15 minutes to go. I mean, anything else you wanted to bring up? Anything you want to mention?
Like, share, and subscribe.
Well, mate, that's up on the thing.
I didn't say it.
Oh yeah, of course you get. Yeah. Right. Akil says, if we are not signing established players, who will improve the squad straight away? It's better to replace Ollie with Pochettino now, while he is available, or we will be in the same position next season. I've got to say,
what's the point bringing Pochettino in if we're not going to back the current manager we've got? We're not going to back someone else who comes in. Surely it costs more. It costs more to back a new manager, because then he might come in and be like, "Yeah, all 11 of them I want gone."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't. I think they've got to stick with Ollie now for at least 2 seasons. They've got to show there's no way they get away with treating Ollie with disrespect that they treated like Van Gaal or Mourinho, because Ollie's a legend at the club, mate. There'd be such a backlash for me. Right, okay, that's it for tonight. And cheers for coming on in, Diedrich, and discussing everything.
Always. Pleasure as always.
I'm going to come across and watch you now, mate, because I'm dying to watch this game. The rest of it. Because I know I've been nagging you for a couple of days to do it. So tonight's the night. Yeah,
nagging. Fucking bordering on harassment. This.
I'm surprised you took out an injunction against me yet on Twitter or something.
All them dodgy pictures that you send me and whatnot.
Crap, absolute crap, mate. You won't get away with saying that on here because people know what I'm like. Right, thanks for joining, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe, and have a great weekend. Diedrich, thanks for coming on. Thanks for everyone in the comments. Mark, Akil, Jay Hart, Pankaj, Katie was in there. I'm sure I've missed someone out.
Dear.
No, Dia's not here for some reason, so I'll have words with him. No, that is it. Right, okay. Thanks a lot, people. See you all later.